Welcome back, everyone. Okay, today we are settling in for a massive one. In this explainer, we're going to analyze why Messi is better than Ronaldo according to the numbers. Seriously, that is our exact topic today, why Messi is better than Ronaldo. We are going to completely break down the greatest sporting rivalry of our generation, and we're driving this entirely with the most up-to-date 2026 data. We're looking at all the numbers, the advanced metrics, and the historical records to see exactly what separates these two absolute titans of the beautiful game.
So we kind of have to start right here. Why do so many fans, analysts, and former players consider Lionel Messi the definitive greatest of all time? I mean, it's a debate that has raged in pubs, living rooms, and stadiums for over 15 years now, right? So rather than giving you some traditional, boring agenda today, we're just jumping straight into the fire to unpack the hard data behind this specific question.
To set the stage, I want you to keep this quote from Sports BuzzFeed in mind as we go through things today. They called Messi the most unguardable player on the pitch. And honestly, this beautifully establishes the overarching narrative we're going to uncover. The argument for Messi being the absolute best isn't just about the sheer volume of times he puts the ball in the net. It's about his total, inescapable impact on literally every single blade of grass.
All right, Section 1, the raw goal tally. Let's look at their career goals to date.
First off, we have to acknowledge that we're comparing two completely different footballing archetypes. On one hand, you have Cristiano Ronaldo, a physically relentless specimen who basically transformed himself from a dazzling winger into the most clinical, powerful center forward in European history. And then, on the other hand, you have Lionel Messi, a playmaking, visionary forward. He's smaller, left-footed, and relies on this almost supernatural ability to beat defenders in insanely tight spaces.
And when we look at the raw output of those two totally different styles, here is where they stand in 2026. Ronaldo absolutely has an undeniable lead in sheer volume. Playing for Al Nassr in the Saudi Pro League, he recently hit an astonishing 973 official senior career goals. I mean, that is just staggering. Meanwhile, Messi, currently playing for Inter Miami, sits proudly in the 900 club with over 910 career goals. So yeah, in terms of absolute volume, Ronaldo is the historic leader. But, as we know, raw volume is just the beginning of the story.
Moving on to Section 2, the efficiency equation. Let's break down minutes and accuracy. When you look at the frequency of their scoring, a huge shift in perspective emerges. Yes, Ronaldo has more total goals, but Messi actually requires fewer minutes on the pitch to find the back of the net. Across their entire careers, Messi scores a goal every 104 minutes. Ronaldo, incredibly prolific as he is, requires 111 minutes per goal.
But the really crucial point here is how they use their chances. Since 2009, Ronaldo has consistently taken way more shots at goal than Messi. However, Messi's shot accuracy sits at almost 46% compared to Ronaldo's 40%. And it gets even more telling when you look at the shot conversion rate. Messi actually converts 21.5% of his shots into goals, while Ronaldo converts 18.8%. What this means for you is that Messi takes significantly fewer shots to achieve his massive goal tally. Statistically speaking, he's just the more ruthless finisher.
Okay, Section 3, beyond the goals. Let's evaluate their all-around impact on the pitch.
These playmaking stats per game really highlight why so many people lean towards Messi in the GOAT debate. Check this out. Messi is putting up 4.5 successful dribbles every single game, compared to Ronaldo's 2. And key passes? Messi is hitting nearly 2.5 per game, while Ronaldo sits around 1.6. Because Messi operates as this visionary who creates just as readily as he finishes, he's racked up over 350 career club assists. He doesn't just finish the play, he dictates the entire rhythm of the game.
Actually, I want to let this staggering number sink in for a second. 333. That is the number of times Lionel Messi has been officially named man of the match. And when you factor in all of those goals, the assists, the dribbles, and those key passes we just talked about, stats providers give Messi an all-time average match rating of 8.48.
Now, compare that to Cristiano Ronaldo's 168 Man of the Match awards and his 7.9 average match rating. Now, make no mistake, a 7.9 average over a career is completely world-class for any mortal. But comparing the two reveals a massive quantitative gap when matched against Messi's overall influence on a 90-minute game.
Which brings us to Section 4, head-to-head clashes. What happens in direct confrontations?
Well, before we look at them facing each other, we absolutely must impartially note Ronaldo's undisputed dominance in the Champions League. This is very often cited as the strongest analytical counter-argument in Ronaldo's favor, and honestly, the numbers absolutely back it up. He holds the record with 140 total UCL goals, and a massive 67 goals in those high-pressure knockout stages. Messi sits slightly behind with 129 total goals and 49 in the knockouts. When that Champions League anthem plays, Ronaldo is an absolute force of nature, no doubt about it.
But what happens when their respective teams actually share the exact same pitch? They faced off 36 times in their careers. In those 36 direct clashes, Messi's teams have won 16 times to Ronaldo's 11. Messi has also outscored Ronaldo in these matchups, 23 goals to 21. But look at the assist column. This is where the dual-threat nature of Messi's game really takes over. Messi has provided 12 assists in these head-to-head games. Ronaldo has provided exactly 1.
Seriously, anyone who watched football between 2009 and 2018 remembers the golden era of El Clasico, Barcelona versus Real Madrid. It was literally the center of the sporting universe. During that fierce rivalry, across all their El Clasico matches, Messi cemented his supremacy not just by scoring a record 26 goals to Ronaldo's 18, but by providing 14 assists to Ronaldo's 1. When the lights were at their absolute brightest and they were looking right at each other, Messi controlled the narrative.
Finally, Section 5, Trophies and Awards. It's time to look at the hardware. 46. That is the number of team trophies Lionel Messi has won. That makes him the single most decorated player in the entire history of football. For years, the only argument against him was his international record, right? But by securing the 2021 Copa America, completing his cabinet with the 2022 World Cup in Qatar as the player of the tournament, and then following that whole thing up with another Copa America in 2024, he added massive, undeniable weight to his side of the argument. And then we have the qualitative voting metrics. 8 Ballon d'Or awards for Lionel Messi, compared to a highly respectable 5 for Cristiano Ronaldo. And remember, this award is voted on by journalists, national team coaches, and captains. We're talking about the very professionals who study and play this game for a living. An 8-to-5 ratio shows an incredibly strong preference from the footballing world's voting body over this generation.
So what does this all mean? We've looked at the raw goals, the breathtaking efficiency, the playmaking dominance, the head-to-head records, and the trophy cabinets. The 2026 data clearly paints a picture of why so many consider Messi the absolute best. But I want to leave you with this final thought to ponder today. Does this mountain of data finally end the GOAT debate for you? Or is there a magic to football that goes totally beyond what we can chart on a graph? Let that sink in as you continue to enjoy the beautiful game. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.